Hey everybody, Tyler with Meeple Mountain here, bringing you another board game review. This time from our good friends at Barrel Aged Games, who have given us a copy of their new card game for 2 to 6 players, Stool Pigeon. Now, Stool Pigeon is a memory-esque card game where you're going to have a set of cards in front of you. You'll get to look at some of them at the start of the game, and then that's it. You won't get to look at them for free again, and you want to get rid of them. You're a leader of this little pigeon mafia family, and you're trying to get rid of the witnesses at your crime scene, basically, to get the lowest witness score possible so that the cops don't bust you and hopefully bust someone else. And you'll be kind of trying to remember where your cards were and get rid of them and move them out of your area so that you have the lowest witness score that you can at the end of the game. There's a lot of fun to be had here. There's a lot of cool little twists and mechanics that make this game very, very easy to teach, but super difficult to master and have a ton of replayability. I'm super excited to show you how much this game is not crappy, so let's jump in and learn how to play Stool Pigeon. Welcome to the world of Stool Pigeon. Here we are set up with a 3-player game. You'll see that setup and gameplay is quite simple. Your entire game is a deck of cards. These cards are going to be witness cards that range from 2 to 10. And there's going to be several counts of each of those throughout the deck. There's going to be some Pigeon Mafia family members, 4 of those particular cards. There's going to be a rat, and as crazy as it sounds, there's going to be a meatball floating around in this pile as well. At the start of the game, you're going to get 4 cards dealt to you randomly from the deck. This is your crime zone. This is what you're trying to get rid of. There's going to be a witness score, which is the total amount of points on your witness cards and your Pigeon Mafia family cards and the rat if he comes up into play, and you'll tally that up. And whoever has the lowest score at the end of the game wins. We'll talk about that in just a second. In this game, when the game starts, you're going to look at, secretly, the bottom 2 cards, the 2 cards closest to you on your crime zone. You're going to get to memorize them, take as much time as you need, and put them back. And then you'll never get to look at them again unless you have an ability that lets you. So try to commit to memory what you saw. Gameplay is super, super simple in this game. You're going to, at the start of your turn, always draw a card. You'll look at it. And then you can decide if you want to, where you want to play this in your particular family. So we know, for instance, that I had a 6 and a 9 here. If I play this 5, I'll put it face down. And I'm going to discard quickly face up the card from my mafia area, my crime scene here, we'll call it, that I didn't want. So I swapped it out with my 5, and I'm going to place my 9 up here. Now, if anyone else has a 9, a witness, a number that they know is 9 within their crime scene, they can actually quickly try to play it and match that card. Now, let's say, for instance, that I had placed this 5 here instead. For some reason, I'd swapped it out, and my 5 comes here. This player, knowing that they have a 5, could quickly play it on top of that to eliminate their witness. Now their crime scene is only 3 cards instead of 4. Only the first player can do that. Now, if someone else had a 5, they can't stack on here as well. Only the first player can do that to eliminate a witness card. Now, say, for instance, this player knew that they had a 5 but forgot where it was and they grabbed a different card and they try to play it. Well, that's incorrect. They actually take that card back and have to add a new card face down. They don't know what it is into their crime scene. So now their crime scene is 5 cards instead of 4. So you can see there's some value to trying to remember where your cards are to get rid of them, but also making sure that you don't make any mistakes that could cost you additional points and add new cards to your crime scene. Play like this will continue with players taking a card and playing a card until one player feels like their score is lower than everybody else. They think they've got it beat. So say it was this player here. He's going to knock on the table when he ends his turn, which lets everyone know they have one more turn they have to take, and then the game is over. So each player will take one more turn. Then we'll reveal all of our cards, tally up our total, and see who has the lowest witness score. It could be the player who tried to end the game, but it could be someone else entirely, and that is the fun of Stool Pigeon. The game is quick, it's clean, it's very, very simple, but there is some fun to be had with your Pigeon Mafia family members, and especially the rat if he starts sneaking around on your board, and we'll talk about him in just a second. But one thing to know is you'll have Pigeon Mafia cards that'll come up. We'll take a look at them here in just a moment. But when you play them, so for instance, say I was a player and I drew a card, and I slid it in here, and this card happened to be a Pigeon Mafia card. I would play that card out to the table, and I would gain its ability when I play it, which can be very, very helpful. So that's another thing that we'll look at here in detail in just a second, but that's how you'll activate your Pigeon Mafia abilities. So with this said, the game is very simple. Draw a card, put it into your crime zone, take the card you swapped it out for, and put it face down. Try to eliminate a witness if you have a matching number on one of your witness cards, and get your score as low as possible. When you think you've won, try to end the game quickly. That's it. The fun of the game comes from the cards and the abilities and the craziness of trying to remember and memorize where everything is at. So with that said, let's take a look at some of the cards that we can hope to encounter within Stool Pigeon. Here we have a look at all of the cards that you could hope to find within a game of Stool Pigeon, which are your witness cards ranging from 2 to 10, your Pigeon Mafia cards, we'll talk about their specific abilities, and your Meatball, which is a score of 0. You can insert an accent here if you want to, but I will not, and the Rat. The Rat is a special card that if you ever get rid of him, and by that I mean play him to your discard pile, so if I swapped him out with another card, he goes off to the discard pile, he scurries right back into my crime scene. So he's just going to keep coming back unless I get rid of him with a specific pigeon card. So he's a little bit tricky, and his value is, at the end of the game, the top card of the draw deck. So his value could be, technically, 0 to 10. So we don't really know what he is, but say this was the end of the game, I flip over a card, he was a 2. That was a very lucky break for me in that particular case. So his score is variable, but he's really hard to get rid of, and he likes to sneak around. So with that said, let's look at these 4 Pigeon Mafia people and their abilities. Now you'll notice they have a score value ranging from 1 to 7. So they are going to add a witness score to your crime scene. But if you play them, they're going to have a really great ability that they can bring to play. So the Stool Pigeon on the left lets you take a peek at any card. Now remember, you're not able to look at cards normally in your crime scene after the game starts. So being able to look at your card or another player's card, figuring out where you want that card to go, if you want to give it to someone else, all of those things, having knowledge of the board state can be very valuable. So that's a great card. The Kingpin is the greatest of all cards because he lets you add or eliminate a card from a crime scene. So that means I could use the Kingpin if I played him to get rid of the Rat and get rid of him from my crime scene, or add a card to someone else's crime scene. So this can be very valuable for turning the tables on someone who may be getting ahead in the score department. Vendetta lets you sneak a peek and swap a card. So you actually can look at someone's card and swap it. That can be very, very helpful. Bamboozle, it lets you pull a good old switcheroo. Now it's very specific, right, in laying out how the switcheroo works. But in the rules, which are simple, small, and concise, it lets you pick any 2 face-down cards on the table and just swap them. You don't need to swap this for one of your own cards. So what that means is you could take 2 other players' cards and switch them around. So being able to move cards around like that can be very, very helpful. So lots of fun can be had here with these cards. You can see all the shenanigans you can get into while trying to get these cards out into play to activate their abilities to help yourself or harm your opponents. Here we have the really fun Biohazard bag that is the mini expansion of the stool sample for a game of Stool Pigeon. You'll see here that it adds 4 new, we'll call them Pigeon Mafia characters, the Pigeon Stool card that does have a pretty high score, but it lets you move the, as it is officially called, the Poople, the Poo Meeple, around on cards. And what happens is when you play one of these cards, you will get to actually place or move the Poople onto someone's crime scene card. Most likely someone else's, but there are tactical reasons why you might want to actually put this on one of your own cards. And what this does is if the Poople is sitting on one of your cards, it means that that card cannot be looked at, moved, or eliminated for any reason in the game. So it kind of protects that card. Now, normally what you'd want to do is stick this on like a 10 on someone else's deck. If you took a peek and knew someone had a really high value card, you might want to stick the Poople on it so they can't eliminate that witness, they can't move it, they can't get rid of that card or swap it to really hurt somebody else. But if you had a 1, the Meatball, a 0, or something crazy like that, you may want to put this on your own card to protect it. So there's some really cool tactical stuff that comes into play. This is a very obviously small expansion, but I love that it shows that, 1, Barrel Aged Games is not taking itself too seriously, and I love that. I think that's super fun. It matches the fun theme and vibe of the game, but it also adds a really cool layer of tactical depth to a game that already has a lot of fun shenanigans going on. And I think this is a great addition to the game itself, and obviously comes in some great packaging. So good job there, guys. And that, in a nutshell, is everything that you need to know to jump in and have a really good time with Stool Pigeon. This game is simple. It's very easy to learn. I love Barrel Age Games' little kind of title tagline for this, which is the 7-minute game that you'll play for hours. And that really encapsulates my experience with this. It is not a difficult game. It is draw a card, play a card, get rid of a card, a little bit of memory mixed in there, some shenanigans. But the game is very simple to learn, difficult to master because there's a lot of replayability on the cards that you get, and will you remember it, and what are other people going to do? But I think the most standout thing to Stool Pigeon that sets it apart for me that's fun is the variable end game condition, right? Like it's not, oh, 10 cards were played, we're wrapping up, or this happened, that. It's when someone thinks they're winning, they're going to knock and try to end the game. And that's fun because depending on your group, someone may try to bum rush the end really quick and just hope they get lucky and push other people out of the game. Like you could try to end on the very first turn that you play. That's crazy, but you could do it. You could also try to optimize and get down to maybe, I don't know, something crazy like 2 cards in your crime scene and try to win that way. There's all kinds of variables that come into play, and depending on your group, you can get a lot of different experiences with this game. And I think that that is a super, super positive thing. Again, there's a lot of cool shenanigans that you can get into as you play games of Stool Pigeon. The other thing is the rulebook. It is clear, it is concise, it is 4 pages long. It is very small, and sometimes that is just refreshing. It is just nice to have a simple, easy rulebook. This is very clear and easy to understand, and I love that it's not a big, complicated game. It is nice. It knows what it is. It is a simple, light little entry game. This is a great warm-up game for your gaming group if you're getting together to get to play some bigger games. This is a great travel game if you're going to the pub or going camping and you just want something to travel with you that's easy to teach even your non-gamer friends. This is not a big lift for anybody. So lots of fun. This checks a lot of boxes for me. I think this has a place in a lot of people's gaming collections, and I hope that it's encouraged you to check it out. Really excited for this one. Love Barrel Age Games, just to give them a shout out. They're super great guys. Love the work that they're doing. I met them when they were doing Moonshine Empire out at Gen Con, and it's been fun to watch them grow with that game and Fortify and Stool Pigeon now. They've become great friends and partners with us, and we just wish them all the success as they continue to put out really awesome, innovative games in a hobby area that we just love. But I want to thank you guys for checking out this video. I hope that it was informative and showed you guys a little bit about what you could expect to find in the box of Stool Pigeon and let you know a little bit about what you could expect when you unbox it and get ready to play. I hope you'll continue to come to Meeple Mountain for all of your board game related content needs. If you like what we're doing, give us a shout out in the comments, give us a like, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell for the alerts. We're always trying to put out new content. We actually have some new videographers joining our team. We're really excited for that as well as we continue to grow our Meeple Mountain family. But I hope you like the content that we're doing. We do it because we love board games, and we hope that you'll continue to come back for more. As always, thank you so much for checking out this video, and I want to wish you happy gaming.
Thanks for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out these links to find some other games you might want to bring to the table. This is Tyler Williams, signing off.